All right. Michael's in. Cisco,
So Michael Effler?
Yeah.
See if you can make him a co-host.
Oh, I can make him host too.
Sure. Whatever. Co-host is probably better.
Co-host?
Yeah.
Okay. Is Amy in there?
Amy, both Amy and Lindsay were there. Was it on? Something's on. I'm gonna go call. Okay.
Test, receiving content and audio. Sorry, just content.
Good afternoon. Hello. Hello, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Can everybody hear us or
Hi,
is it
look at
just
me.
you?
Look at me.
Can you hear us?
All right. Can you hear me? All right.
Yes.
I know it's a bigger than average crew. Can you hear me in the back? Awesome. I hope people on Zoom can hear me. If not, somebody should tell somebody who should tell me. But I am going to go ahead and get started. So this is your welcome to your interprofessional education experience on the Anschutz Medical Campus. I know you've all been welcomed by your respective healthcare programs and you're getting settled in. But we, and I mean a really big group of people in this community, want to welcome you today. And we really want to think about how we can help you become integrated into this community, comfortable here, and in a space where you can be your best selves as you learn and take the next steps on your journeys toward becoming health professionals. So thank you all for taking time out of your programs to be here today. We know it's hard to fit in all the components of education in life as you travel this journey, but that's part of what we like to be here to support you in and to be part of as you move to the next phase. So my name is Suzanne Brandenburg. I'm the director of the Center for Interprofessional Practice and Education here on this campus. I'm in the School of Medicine and I work with an incredible group of people who help put all this together. So today we're going to move through some things fairly quickly during this 1 o'clock hour and get you into some smaller groups. This is the introduction. You can tell I'm already partway through that. I'm introducing. And then we're going to move into some of our campus partnerships. We're really fortunate to have some incredibly talented and dedicated folks from around the Anschutz campus who think long and hard about how to make this the best experience possible, how to be inclusive, how to be welcoming, how to be supportive. And I wish I had time for all of them to spend lots of time talking to you, but we're just going to give you a brief glimpse of some of the support and opportunity that this community holds for you. Then we're going to break you into all these different classrooms, and hopefully the logistics of that will go well. You've all got lanyards, you all kind of know where to go. And we're going to get a little bit more on a small group level, get to know each other a little bit through community circles. And we'll practice what the classroom sessions are going to look like as we think about the upcoming course. So as introductions go, I guess we should start with who are we, who are you? You all know who you are individually, but I want to point out that there are over 700 students who are first years on this campus right now. You're from all of these programs today. Most of you are here in person. We have a few remote learners, and we'll have a few more remote learners as we get into the actual introductory course in a few months. And then we have an incredible team. And so they love it when I show their pictures. But the core team is shown here. And these are people from all various parts of campus, different programs who really think about, again, how can we help you guys succeed as healthcare professionals, knowing that the interprofessional collaborative practice space is crucial in order to deliver excellent healthcare. We also have representatives from each program. We really like to think about integrating, again, what we're doing here with your core programs. You guys have this balancing act of really being here and responsible for mastering your individual craft. You go into the health professions and you owe it to patients and society to be the best you can be at whatever health profession you choose. We want to layer on that this teamwork, collaboration, content around health equity, some of these bigger other pieces that may not feel as relevant on a day-to-day space while you're learning. But as we all know, when you get to making a difference in health and society, the biggest changes have been at the population level. What we do one patient at a time is profoundly important, but what we can do together is massively impactful. So I want to thank all of my team members who've been particularly supportive of me the last couple of weeks. I'll just, on a side note, say, if you can be in a health profession and do meaningful work and work with people who support you, you will thrive. And that's really what we're trying to get to here. I'm going to do a quick pivot and briefly tell you a little bit about your journey in interprofessional education here. We have 5 main components. Today is orientation. Most of you will return in the spring for our introductory collaborative practice course. The School of Medicine is a little off cycle, so they will join other teams this fall to do interprofessional healthcare and health equity, and then come back in the spring and join the rest of you for interprofessional collaborative practice. After you finish the 2 core introductory courses, as you move into your clinical work, you'll have the opportunity to do a high fidelity simulation at the CAPE, the Center for Advancing Professional Excellence, where you get to practice with interprofessional classmates and practice some of the concepts and skills that you've been introduced to during this course. And then as you move into your individual program-related practical clinical learning experiences, you will work on teams. You'll have the opportunity to work with other health care professionals taking care of actual patients, and you have the opportunity to reflect on how teamwork and collaboration and ethical dilemmas play into that work and how important it is for you to think about that as you're thinking about everything else. This is just another pictograph that sort of visualizes your path through interprofessional education and on our campus. You'll be able to see it on Canvas as well, but I just wanted to point out for people who are organizers, some people who end up at this place are pretty organized. People like to see what's coming, what do I need to plan for? And there's a couple different ways you can look at this on Canvas and get an idea of how this will interdigitate with your other learning here. So to think about where we're going from here, I just like to point out that interprofessional education is setting you up for collaborative practice and effective teamwork. So what we're really thinking about is for a team to be high functioning, it's important to develop community. It's important to have psychological safety. And with this, we need to think about who are we? Who are we as professionals? Who are we as individuals? Who are we as a team? So when we think about meeting your team today, we're going to be able to explore the individual, team, and interprofessional identities and think about how that may help us build team cohesion. And then as we move into the simulated sort of part of our course, we're going to start to connect that to patient care. So we really want to build community today for the sake of building community, but more importantly, for the sake of helping you thrive so that you can become effective healthcare professionals on high functioning teams in the future. Yep. Oh. Should I start over? All right, we'll send somebody there. Have you guys memorized this? Will you share it with all of your classmates and tell them verbatim every inspirational word that I just said? All right, thanks. Okay. And also thank you for letting me know. Part of being an effective team member is knowing when to speak up no matter where you are on the team. So great role model. All right. Okay, all right, yeah, no victory laps. Okay, so the other thing that's gonna happen during the fall is that our partners, some of whom you'll meet today, are gonna offer some different kinds of sessions and activities to help you get to know each other, be better prepared to support each other. And we hope that you'll keep your eye out for those things on Canvas in My IPE, and that you'll consider participating in some of those as your other coursework allows. Again, wanting to build community not only with required elements, but with some of these things that different people will find interesting in different ways. So another piece of this is that we have a One Book, One Campus program. Every year we pick a book that is a shared voluntary read for people in the community. This year, the book is called Tell Me Who You Are. It was written by 2 students as they thought about moving into college and how little they knew about people who lived in the United States where they had been raised. And so they went around and interviewed people just from all over and from all walks. And it's really an opportunity to think about, again, everybody comes with a personal identity. If we share our stories, if we get to know each other, we can get comfortable with each other and we can move ahead. So stay tuned for book clubs in person and on Zoom and some other activities related to this book. So I'm going to wrap it up and turn it over to some other people, but I want to hit home this idea that I think I've already mentioned, which is that our identities are really important. And we don't want to just think of you as the student on the team. And we don't want you to think of the patient in the room. We really want to bring meaning to who everybody is, because we are all humans and we all have individual experiences and we have things we can share. And so if we can really work in our healthcare teams to be respectful of each other, to listen to each other, we are going to contribute to increased health outcomes. And while that may not feel as concrete as saying, oh my gosh, I need to learn how to take a blood pressure, it is really important. And so that's what we want to emphasize here. You all have chosen this path. I'm so proud of you all for choosing a health profession. Let's be clear, it's not an easy path. It's a very rewarding path, and it comes with a lot of responsibility. What we're hoping here is to say that you don't have to go it alone, you shouldn't go it alone, and you'll be more effective if you do it in a team. What we really want to do is help you become effective team members, think about tough issues around health equity, and eventually you will be the population, you will be the future health professionals that impact the health of society. You will make a difference. You are our future, and we are really invested in you being successful. So thank you for being here today and for taking this journey. All right, so now I'm going to introduce some of those partners who I mentioned were here today to just briefly welcome you to campus and talk about what's going on here. First and foremost, we have the excellent good fortune of having Dr. Regina Richards, who's the Vice Chancellor of the Office of Diversity, Inclusion, and Community. And I'm going to ask her to come up and welcome you to the stage. I've been a fan of Dr. Richards for, I don't want to tell you how many years, because you'll guess how old I am.
Oh, okay.
Yep, you saw us hug. That's what we do here. We are a team and we are a family. So welcome to the family. Good afternoon. Mm-mm. Let's see if you can do that again. Good afternoon. I love it when you talk back to me. So thank you so much. It is really an honor and a privilege for me to be here with you today. You heard from Dr. Brandenburg, one of the intersections of my identity, and I'm going to disclose a few others to you. I am a community social worker. I am a wife. I am a mother. I am a Christian. I am a friend. I am a colleague. I am an educator, administrator, and I'm a proud Black woman. First I'd like to start, or next I'd like to start with our land acknowledgement. So here on the Anschutz Medical Campus, I want you to know that we strive for one goal, and that is inclusivity. And so as part of that, we like to model when and where we can and honor the various different cultures and cultural identities of individuals here. That is faculty, staff, students, and trainees, but also bringing in our community. We are here because of you all as students, but we are here to serve the community. So next I'll do our land acknowledgement. We humbly acknowledge that the University of Colorado Anschutz Medical Campus is located on the traditional and contemporary homelands of Indigenous peoples. Our campus resides on unceded land of the Arapaho people, established to the Treaty of Fort Larimer in 1851. We recognize the enduring presence of more than 40,000 Indigenous peoples in the greater Denver area. The sprawling urban American Indian and Alaskan Native presence in Denver consists of other tribes native to Colorado, such as Apache, Comanche, Shoshone, and Ute community members. Yet it is now home to numerous other Indigenous people from many of the 560 plus federally recognized tribes in this country. Together, we acknowledge the history of genocide and ongoing systemic inequities while respecting treaties made on the territory as a step towards reconciliation and strengthening relationships with Indigenous people. We give thanks to the past, present, and future stewards of this land and respect all tribal nations' sovereignty and right to self-determination. We recognize the lessons, including many medical and public health lessons Indigenous communities have offered and continue to treat us and continue to teach us. So again, I'm really honored and privileged to have a few minutes with you. Those of my colleagues that know me well know that I could be up here all day, but I am not going to dominate this space like that. What I want to tell you is here on the Anschutz campus, as I said before, we really are striving for equity and inclusion. I said striving because we are in a process. Just as you are in the learning process, we're in a process as well of looking at structural barriers, looking at systemic practices that really move us towards a much more equitable place and that also is mission focused. We, as I said, so our office provides resources. We are here, we have various different pillars, or I would say units within our office. We have our career pathways programs. We have, which we're always looking for mentors, not right now, it's too early in what you're doing right now, but we're always looking for mentors. Our central office where operation happens. I am under the direct leadership of the Chancellor of the Cabinet. We have a leadership council here where we have shared governance to really look at and move us towards practices that are strategic, systemic, and sustainable around equity issues, policies, practices, programs that really are focused on equity and inclusion. We have a community engagement core where we're working with the communities around us, but also in Southern Colorado and Northern Colorado. We are our LGBTQ plus hub. We're very excited to bring recognition to our LGBTQ plus community and to provide a place of identity and a space for identity to work collaboratively together. We have our HEAL team, which is our Health Equity Action Lab, ran by Dr. Rita Lee and Christy Angerhofer. And it is really a place where we have an opportunity to, again, do best practices, do training for faculty, staff, students, and our residents around this issue of equity and what that really means and what does it mean to actually demonstrate that in practice. We are very, very fortunate because of the time that I've been here on this campus, longer than collectively maybe you all have been alive, but nonetheless, a long time. And to have the relationships where we really do have a collaborative campus. What I want to tell you about our campus, no matter what school you are associated or affiliated or admitted to, is that we are not checking boxes here. We're not looking for quotas. But what we are looking for is excellence. And when you look for excellence, diversity shows up. So know that you're here because you deserve to be here. This is not an easy journey. And you need to understand if it were easy, this room will be double or even triply filled. You're here because you're supposed to be here. Don't lose sight of your identity because you want to assimilate. We find your community, find the resources that you need, speak up and ask. Kudos to the gentleman back there, the person that back there that spoke up and said, you know what, room, whatever it was, could not hear. That was excellent because you're using your voice. Here on this campus, we want you to use your voice. We really understand that one size does not fit all, but we have a responsibility to make sure that you're successful in this space. IPE is about community collaboration. It is not just the doctor in the room. It is not just the nurse in the room. It is all of the disciplines. And we are a better team. We build better, we have better health outcomes when it is interprofessional team science. And you all have this great opportunity and experience to be able to learn that and have it be a part of one of your identities as well. I'm honored to be with you here today, and I look forward to getting to know you all better.
All right, now I'm looking to see if Stephen Burton's here. Then I'm going to move on to my next, I'm very delighted to have from the Phoenix Center, Rachel Williams, who's the program manager, to tell us a little bit about that amazing pillar of support.
That's a really tough act to follow, so thanks for putting me behind Regina. Hi, everyone who I haven't met. My name is Rachel Williams. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the program manager for the Phoenix Center, as Suzanne shared. This is our QR code if you would like access to all of the information about our services and the work that we do. I'm going to jump to the next slide. Some of the information in this presentation might be triggering, so I just want to let folks know that we are available afterwards. If you'd like to talk, our phone number is on that first slide, which I'll go back to. Here at the Phoenix Center, we serve folks on campus, students, staff, and faculty who have experienced interpersonal violence. So that's sexual violence, relationship violence, stalking, and harassment. As you can see here, we have a 24/7 crisis line. It's actually accessible through our Auraria campus. It's a little confusing. There's a Phoenix Center Auraria through our Auraria campus. This is the Phoenix Center Anschutz. Call either one and we'll direct you to the right place. Just know that that is available for anyone here. If you have questions about personal experiences, experiences with clients or patients, if something's coming up for you in relation to what you've experienced at school, or maybe it's a friend or family member you have concerns about, we can walk you through what's the best practice, how do we approach a conversation with someone, and what would that look like. We also do academic advocacy. So as we know, if you experience trauma, that can affect your ability to get work done, maybe shift your priorities. Just know that we can help you navigate that process in school, also working with outside sources with work, other systems. So if you are interested in like protection orders or what that looks like, or happen to be involved with the criminal or civil justice system, we can help you navigate that as a survivor. We do presentations on campus, so you'll see us hosting some awareness events. We like to bring in presenters on interpersonal violence and medication and that correlation. Also excited to offer a trauma-informed care interpersonal violence elective with the School of Medicine, but we do also do brief, shorter trauma-informed care workshops. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, let us know. We can definitely coordinate that. The other side is stuff we don't do, but if you have questions, call us, and if we're not the resource for that, we'll direct you to the right place. So we are offering a couple bystander trainings. We believe that as one campus, we should act as a team. And so you'll hear a lot of that today, I believe. But we really want to make sure that folks are equipped with like the basic skills of I heard something, it was uncomfortable, it felt unsafe. And so really just looking at safe ways to navigate difficult conversations, whether it be with patients, other folks here on our campus, peers. So October 26th, in coalition with the LGBTQ Hub, we will be offering a hybrid in-person and both virtual training to go over some basics. January 18th is going to be like a Phoenix Center specific one on interpersonal violence. So really looking at like encouraging accountability for folks that are perpetrating the harm, but also talking about when does support kind of cross over that line. So how do we gauge when we're being helpful? Because again, you guys are caretakers. And so I know that you care, but sometimes that can be a little bit overbearing. So we're going to balance interpersonal violence and talking about like toxic and healthy masculinity and how that relates to the work that we do here on the CU Anschutz campus. I'm going to go back just so you have the QR code. Good way to contact us. Email's always the best. And you can also access resources and information, and some of our previous presentations are recorded and they will be on our website. So thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Now I'd like to introduce Carissa Stolen. She's here from the Office of Equity today, and she's the Prevention, Education, and Training Coordinator.
Very good. Hi, everyone. How y'all doing? Good to hear. So I'm Carissa. I work in the Office of Equity. We are a dual campus serving resource. So we serve both the CU Denver campus as well as CU Anschutz. And we provide services for faculty, student, and staff. The goal is for you all to never have to use our office as a resource, but if you do, we want to make sure that you know your rights and responsibilities under university policy and know what we can provide you support with should you need it. So who are we? The Office of Equity, we have a mission to stop, prevent, and remedy any discrimination, harassment, sexual misconduct, or related retaliation. We go out and we provide education and training related to what we do. So this is an example. It is a very brief time, so we can always come back into individual classroom seminars. You might see us throughout the year. We also help design policy to make our campus safer and more inclusive. And no matter who we're working with, we make sure that everyone is treated with dignity, compassion, and respect. So what do we do? Our office administers several important policies for the university. The first being our CU Denver, CU Anschutz non-discrimination policy. We enforce our CU system sexual misconduct, intimate partner violence, and stalking policy. And we also administer our CU system conflict of interest in cases of amorous relationships policy. We also are responsible for managing all on-campus lactation spaces. So should you ever need access to those spaces, please reach out to us. We'll make sure that you have all the proper badge clearance and that you have lists of resources and spaces you can reserve. We also enforce the CU system and campus-specific lactation space policies, as well as other additional pregnancy and parenting university guidelines. So anyone is able to make a report to our office. There are certain folks who are obligated and mandated to report any instance of discrimination, harassment, sexual misconduct, or related retaliation that individual becomes aware of. A responsible employee is going to be someone who has the authority to hire, promote, discipline, evaluate, grade, formally advise, or direct faculty, staff, or students. Engagement with our office is voluntary, so should the Office of Equity conduct any outreach and assessment, participation from the involved parties is up to those folks. Okay, so we're going to focus on two policies very briefly. We have our non-discrimination policy, which is going to be based on these 15 protected characteristics. There are 3 types of prohibited conduct under the policy. Discrimination is going to be the differential treatment of an individual based on one or more of these protected characteristics. Harassment is going to be hostility against an individual on the basis of one or more of these characteristics. It's going to be behavior that is so severe, pervasive, or objectively offensive that it denies someone the ability to access any kind of educational or employment opportunity. And the last is failure to accommodate. There are 4 protected characteristics that the university is required to provide reasonable accommodations for. And those are religion, disability, creed, and pregnancy. If you have any questions about what these protected characteristic definitions are, if you need any information about accommodations, please feel free to visit our website. Our sexual misconduct policy, it has 10 forms of prohibited sexual misconduct. On our website, you can learn a little bit more about the difference between Title IX versus non-Title IX prohibited conduct. But essentially, some of these are really self-explanatory. Some that we get questions about the most are sexual exploitation. And that's going to be conduct that takes advantage of an individual without their consent. Examples of that can be revenge porn or sexting, someone who maybe sent a picture consensually at a previous time, and now it's being distributed without that person's consent. Sexual harassment, 2 different types. We have quid pro quo sexual harassment. That's going to be a this for that. So an example could be a professor saying, I'll give you a kiss if you give me a kiss, I'll give you an A. I'll give you an A on your test. And then the other form is hostile environment. And that's going to be an environment where it is intimidating or offensive, and there is some sort of sexual misconduct happening where you feel uncomfortable. It could be sexual innuendos, sexual jokes, or displaying any type of sexual explicit material. An important piece of our sexual misconduct policy is affirmative consent. There are 3 things you need for consent to be effectively given. The first is cooperation in act and attitude. That is going to be a verbal, physical yes. Everyone is very understanding, clearly expectations, whatever is happening is very mutual. The second is an exercise of free will. So any use of force, threats, or intimidation is not someone giving consent. And then incapacitation. So third, knowledge of what is happening. If someone is incapacitated, they are not able to effectively give consent. So yeah, if you want to learn any more about this, please feel free to visit our website. Last thing, I don't have a chance to show this video, but it is on our course. However, what this really is supposed to be and what we really wanted to call attention to is that your actions matter. And from time to time, we might all be in a situation where we can witness some troubling or harmful, problematic behavior. And in those moments, we have the choice to either intervene or to not intervene and remain complacent. And we really want to let you all know that there is an expectation at this campus that you all do take care of one another. It is your responsibility. We all want to make sure that we can be working proactively to stop violence before it occurs. All right, so our Prevention Together Canvas course, that is something that you all can take. It's in your Canvas, what do you call it? Like Canvas portal, maybe? Okay, Canvas portal, it's not for credit, no fees, maybe takes about an hour. It was created in collaboration with our office and the Phoenix Center. It'll go over all of the stuff we talked about today, but also give a little bit more extensive information on bystander intervention and also some support resources on campus. This is our contact information. Also in your resources for today, we have a little info card that all of you have access to, which has all of these QR codes, all of our contact information. And our website can also give you information on how to make a report. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you so much.
All right, so yeah, I do want to thank Chris and Rachel. We could, as I said, go on and on with all kinds of people providing different kinds of presentations. And I hope that you guys are getting a sense that what we're really looking at again is the community here. So that if something doesn't go well, if you need help, we have systems in place and we want you to reach out. And if you see something not going well for somebody else, we want you to step up and help that person. And we're really here again to build that two-way street. So now we're going to sort of switch into planning for our small groups. And what I'm going to do is introduce one of my favorite people, Vice Chancellor for Student, oh, look, whoa, she's already up. Look at that. Woohoo! Student Services, Dr. Jan Gascon, who gets to set us up with Anthony for the piece after that. So without further ado, Dr. Gascon. Thank you.
I want to say over the last 2 years, it's been incredibly lonely on this campus. So to see 700 students sitting here is quite amazing. And in the last 2 years, I'm going off script a little bit, Suzanne, who's like, time on task, Jan, time on task. So I haven't gotten to make a student announcement in 2 years. So I do have one. Everyone take a minute and check your earlobes. If you're an earring wearing person and you are missing a gold hoop, I'm your gal. I found it on the way over. So come see me after. And now, and if you lost another earring, I'm not your gal, but we'll see what we can do to find it. So my name's Jan Gascoigne. I'm the Associate Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs here at CU Anschutz. I've been on campus for 14 years. I also am a faculty member in the Colorado School of Public Health, and it's just a privilege always to have the opportunity to speak to IPE. And in this moment and in this session, it's even more of a privilege because we're trying something new that I'm very excited about. So I'm going to start this with a quote from Black Elk, who is an Ogallala Lakota holy man. And his quote is, "The universe is circles within circles, and everything is one circle, and all of the circles are connected to each other. Each family is a circle, and those family circles connect together and make a community. And the community makes its circle where it lives on earth. The community cares for that part of the earth and cares for it as a circle. which is to say, in a cooperative and egalitarian way where everybody is cared for and everybody is respected. Today, we're going to spend some time in the afternoon learning together in circles. And our goal for these circles is to work with you and others on campus to co-create our CU Anschutz community. Leading us in our circles today is Dr. Anthony Pallotta. And Dr. Pallotta has an extensive career in healthcare, serving as a practicing dentist, serving students at NYU Dental School in the leadership role of Dean of Enrollment and Student Affairs and faculty member, serving as the Chief Learning Officer for ADIA and a lead singer for a punk band along the way. There we go. Currently, he leads a consulting firm focused on a practice of developing community circles and practices of restorative justice. He comes to us today with a deep passion for healthcare education, students, and the people who dedicate their lives to improving the training for healthcare students and health outcomes for our patients. Please help me welcome Dr. Anthony Pallotta.
Okie dokie. All right, cool. Yeah. All right, awesome. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Gascon. Good afternoon, students, faculty, the Anschutz community here. I'm Anthony Pallotta, identify as he, him, his, and I'm grateful to be amongst you today. I'm here to share with you the concept of allyship in healthcare and how team building in an interprofessional practice can support allyship for the people who seek our care and for our community at whole. So I'd like to read to you from an interview with Dr. Gwyneth Wallen. She's the Chief Nurse Officer and Senior Investigator at NIH. Here's what Dr. Wallen has to say about being an ally in healthcare. An ally is an individual who unites themselves with another to promote a common interest where both benefit. Allyship in healthcare means advocating for change on behalf of patients and peers to ensure that everyone receives the best level of care. Trusting in each other to approach difficult conversations, despite our differences in lived experiences, has become an essential strength in our alliances. Sincerity and authenticity and wanting to work towards the common goal of reducing health disparities is critical to being an effective ally. Allyship can be a small action. You don't have to make a big grand gesture to be an ally. Anyone can be an ally and leverage their place of privilege. An ally can serve as a mentor or a voice for someone who doesn't have a voice. An ally can also enhance the culture of inclusion by engaging with their marginalized colleagues and providing support in their daily lived experience. When marginalized groups feel supported and included, they are more comfortable bringing their whole selves to work and tend to be more engaged and productive, thus creating a more enjoyable environment for everyone. So thank you, Dr. Wallen. To support you in developing an allyship mindset, we're going to begin our afternoon learning about our interconnectedness and what each of us brings to the interprofessional team. What you say and do doesn't just impact the person you say and do it with, it has a ripple effect across the university campus. And so we're going to begin today by engaging in small community building circles. Today's community building circle will be sharing stories about our experiences and values in the team, as well as in our learning community, in an effort to develop our listening skills and express authentically our values and empathy, which are critical to support effective allyships and to be a great healthcare provider. The circle invites all of us to be authentic, vulnerable, and honor the connections between us and our stories. Relationship building is essential for an effective interprofessional team. So why a circle? Well, the circle process that we're using today is derived from the practice and philosophy of restorative justice, which began with the First Nations people of North America and the Maori of New Zealand. It's rooted in traditions that Indigenous people have used for millennia and continue to use today, long before people who look like me were here. The circle is known to be a place of no end. It creates a space where one voice can be heard, where the capacity, the connection, the creativity of the community can find a place of being by bringing people together to repair any harm that had been done and build a community of trust, inclusion, and accountability. As we borrow from this tradition, we acknowledge the importance of relationships as a way of living in community. I want to thank Regina for the land acknowledgement. And just to really add to it, I also want to acknowledge the James Smith Cree Nation in Saskatchewan, Canada, and send our healing thoughts to their people and the community following the massacre that occurred several days ago. Just a couple of seconds of sending positive thoughts to them. Right. So now I'd like to share with you the basic elements of a community building circle that we'll be using today. When you arrive in your assigned rooms, your team will be provided and receive an envelope with a script. We'll be very clear with the instructions on how to get the most out of your community building experience. Each team will also decide on a team leader who will read the script. The two most important elements that we'll be using today in the circle are community agreements and the talking piece. The talking piece will be a stress ball. Typically, the circle chooses a personal item, but due to the size and the scope of today's event, the ball will be used instead. Whoever holds the ball is the only person who is able to speak. When that person is complete, they will hand the ball to the next person in the circle. There will be 4 rounds and 4 questions. No worries if your team cannot get through all 4 of them. It's really the quality experience that matters more than the time. And here are the community agreements. I think they'll also be in your envelope. They're pretty simple, but not always easy to do, right? Be present and curious, one voice at a time, and respect the talking piece. Speak and listen from the heart, and speak and listen with respect. Speak your first draft. Here's your time to be authentic, to be who you really are. Just say enough. Participation is voluntary. So if the ball's passed to you and you do not want to respond, you don't have to. And take the learning, but leave the stories. All right, so, and what you're seeing here is a beautiful centerpiece that if we were doing a traditional community building circle, we would be sitting, staring at looking at each other. We would not be at a table or in a seated room. It would just be us with nothing between us. There'd be a centerpiece that we would create together and that talking piece that we bring to the situation. But I think we'll have a great time today bringing the tradition here and using it with our hearts. So it's community building time. I want to thank you for having me here today. And to end with a quote from Desmond Tutu, "My humanity is bound up in yours, for we can only be human together." So thank you and enjoy your afternoon.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Pallotta. All right, so we're really close to letting everybody move on. I wanted to say just a couple more things. One is the next step will be to go to your assigned room. All of these elements will be there along with some faculty facilitators. Some of you will have remote learners joining your team. So everybody be patient and please be inclusive. I want to thank all of you again for coming here today. I know it's a whole afternoon of health professions. The group is getting rowdy. I feel the rowdiness. Shh. I'm like an old school teacher. I could stand here for a really long time. Okay, so we're really close. I just again want to just when you have chance later, reflect on maybe some of what you've heard today and the message that we're trying to get across. And more importantly, as you get deeper and deeper into your studies and things get hard and you have a tough day, try to reflect back again on the big picture. Why are you in the health professions? And how can we as a community support each other to do best by our patients? The one thing I failed to do is to have our council stand up. So I do want to say I've got several people from your programs here. I just wanted them to stand up for a minute because I didn't get to embarrass them yet. So just a little shout out. Yay. All right. And now, unless anybody has any questions, I'm going to say, yeah, please move on to your assigned rooms and have a great afternoon.